That I sees you, yeah. I sees you, bet that I see.
I went to the Clinton School for Writers and Artists. I went for writing and art because I used to draw as well. I came up as a graffiti head. Anyone who's seen me autograph something or just seen my handwriting, they say, "Oh, damn, you do graffiti." They could tell, by the way I write. And then for high school, I went to Institute for Collaborative Education, which is also in Manhattan. So, yeah, my parents always made me go to school, other places. At the time, I didn't appreciate it at first, but now
we never do.
I appreciate it, moving forward, because I do what I do and I'm where I'm at because of that and because of them, so I appreciate that 100%.
What you be around, being next to me is why I ain't another leading crap. Being next to brothers, why you know we all enough, right? Being next to Bill, we never fail, we never quit for life. Being next to hustles, teach you ambition before they...
I've always been a writer at heart, so, I pride myself on the pen. I pride myself on lyricism, being able to tell stories, being able to speak for myself and for others, through my pen. And it's an honor and a privilege to be able to do so. It's a God-given talent that I don't take for granted at all. I just more so take advantage of it. Just try to take advantage of the opportunity to have it and use it. And ghostwriter as well for other people, and somebody who loves to push the pen. Life has always just been focused on music. It's always been music and storytelling and pushing the pen. Just having an ear for music, even outside of the pen, just having an ear for music that I feel, which helps me with my music and the way I create and the way I grow. Yeah, I started rhyming and really falling in love with it at 9 years old. I'm an 80s baby, so when I was 9, it was early 90s, and I was all in it. I was born in the early 80s. I just fell in love with it. In my neighborhood, especially in the 80s and 90s, hip-hop was everywhere, and it was more about grabbing a hold of it, even more so than it is now, because now I think it's so common, it's so much part of the culture that it's like breathing. Whereas back then, you kind of fought for that breath, So you couldn't open the window without hearing hip-hop, living on the 18th floor, looking outside and, hearing hip-hop, whether it was Big Daddy Kane or BDP or, NWA or Tribe Called Quest or, all that. Public Enemy, you couldn't open the window without hearing it. You couldn't walk to the store without hearing it because it was so new and exciting, So I fell in love with it even before 9, but when I was 9 years old, that's when I started going for it. That's when I said I want to do this. I heard Chi Ali, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, and that's what started it. I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I knew at 9 years old. Business-wise, I kind of made my first strides into the game at 18, 19. Because this was before the internet, before SoundCloud, before recording in the basement and putting it online in 30 minutes. It was before that. You had to go to studios. You had to have a connect. You had to have, a link to how to get all that done. You had to press up your stuff on your own. So it was a different time back then. So when I was about 18 or so, that's when I started making my first strides, really hitting studios every day. I think my first studio session was 14, 15. But strides as far as really putting my foot in the game from the business side as well as being an MC and an artist, like 18. Growing up, like I said, I was inspired initially to start writing by Chi Ali, just from afar, just being a fan, seeing the videos on Real Music Box and buying the tapes from Nobody Beats the Wiz and, all that. And, but after that, I was inspired by everything and everybody around me. I was such a fan of everything, but for me, I always was about lyricism. So for me, it was guys like the trinity of Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas. It was that. And then it was, Wu-Tang, Raekwon, and Ghost and all that. And then it was, it was all those guys, man, Scarface, and there was just so much of that, and as time went on, obviously, Mos Def, Talib, Mace, Bad Boy, a lot of Bad Boy, Mace, the Locks. I always said, when I was 14, when I said 14 with a flow, I was underneath the block, or Jadakiss was Jesus, I just wanted to be the Locks, like, for me, like, in high school, 14, 15 years old, that was it, it was about the Locks, It was about Bad Boy, so, growing up the block from Biggie, living on St. James, being a block away from Big and seeing that happen, all that. And I was inspired by guys who really went for it lyrically. Those were the guys that drew my attention and grabbed hold of me from day one.
There's rules to the Money that should be ours, the pursuance from the get. I'm true indeed for a flip. I'm doing need of a flip, but as true to me as it is, I'm still truly yours and truthfully for the win. I'm still doing more for you and me off the rip. I'm built by what I saw, so usually what it is everything that it was.
Hip-hop would be nowhere without Outkast and, you know, UGK and, you know, No Limit and, you know, all these different things that were brought to the game, you know, TIs and all that. Like, it would be nowhere without those guys. The same way it would be nowhere without us up here, you know, and that's what makes hip-hop beautiful, because it represents everything from all over, you know. The regions don't matter, you know. All you're getting with the regions is a different view of this country that we live in. So in New York is one way, in Atlanta it's another, in Texas it's another, in LA and Chicago and Detroit, and you know, you're just getting different views on this country of where we live, but it's all told from this perspective of struggle and pushing forward and rising up, you know, and that's what it really comes down to. I think as far as, you know, New York hip-hop, there was a time where there was sort of an identity crisis. There was a time where it seemed lost, you know, regardless of if we had success or not on the charts. There was a moment where it seemed lost, but I think that's changed now with the internet, you know, with the prominence and the relevance of the internet. There's nothing you can't do as far as getting your music out there. Back in the day, you know, if you couldn't get on the radio, then the only way you could get out was like a Fat Beats, you know. That was really the only way that you could get out. And they really waved the flag and raised the flag for guys who couldn't get on the radio but had music with a message and a meaning and a bottom and all that. So now it's that and then some. Yeah, I want to say that was February of '09 when that happened. And that was all, you know, Sean Price. Shout out to the guard, Sean Price, R.I.P. for sure. That was my bro, and he put that together. You know, labels were hollering, labels were talking, wanting to see what was up. And Sean went to them. Sean went to Drew and Buck and was like, yo, we got to do this. You know, we got to make sure Sky Zoo is over here, because that's the new wave of what New York and Brooklyn is about, and keeping the flag going and doing something that means more than just here and now in the moment. You know, so Sean really pushed that. We did the deal, I want to say February '09, and rocked out. You know, I did 3 projects with Duck Down. My debut album, The Salvation. My second album, my sophomore joint, which was A Dream Deferred, and in between that, I did an EP with Ill Mind, live from the tape deck, my brother Ill Mind. It was dope times. You know, I'm currently not signed to Duck Down at the moment, but that's still family. You know, that's always family no matter what. I was just able to move on and kind of create my own Duck Down, so to speak, create my own wave, FGR, which is my label that I run and own entirely myself. And I can take the lessons and things I learned from the Duck Down days and roll, you know, and I think that's a beautiful thing. And as far as artists, I'm really working on my stuff, and with FGR, it's more than just a label. You know, what I'm doing with it is using it as an umbrella for all of my stuff. So from the music to television shows that I'm writing, to the film that I'm writing, and all these different outlets and ventures that I'm working on, FGR is an umbrella for everything. But I'm always listening and looking for artists and always pushing forward with that, because as much as I love being in the booth, on stage, in front of the mic, I also love the Quincy Jones aesthetic of being behind the scenes, helping an artist build a project, build a catalog, pick beats, write songs, really get it together. You know, I'm a fan of that as well. I love hearing an artist's music and saying, ooh, what if you did this? What if you did that? You know, I love that. I love that feeling.
In love with a mattress that was somewhat out of place, where due to old habits it could double as a chase. Talking major key, let it cut you out of case, or try and run the city till it run you out of state. Told us all of this is straight, and it's worth what you wait on. Staring at the exit like, yo, I ain't trying to stay long. Kitchen table decorator, sit your way to plate on. Jesus, heavy is the head the crown lay on, but all of this is straight.
The next project I'm coming out is a collabo album between myself and Apollo Brown. You know Apollo Brown, amazing producer out of Detroit. Myself and Apollo, September 30th, The Easy Truth. The album is a collabo joint. He produced the entire thing. And feature-wise, we added Joel Ortiz, Stally, Westside Gun, Conway, and Patty Crash, singer, you know, out of Philly with the roots and everything. Amazing project. I'm super proud of it. I'm super excited to get it to everybody, get the ears on it. You know, I'm super excited about it. It's just more storytelling. It's more of what you know me for, but production-wise, it's a little dirtier, a little grittier. Because if you know Apollo, his sound is, you know, dirty drums and dirty loops, dusty loop records, and, you know, just hard, dirty drums, just straight up hip-hop. So if you know my music, I'm always adding trumpets string sections and
So
finger rolls and
jazzy.
keys and all the jazz elements to try to make the music help tell a story and make it more grand and, you know, really bring it to life. And with Apollo, he likes it more bare bones, and, you know, he feels like that's his approach as far as the honesty. And I love it. So I wanted to kind of deviate from what I normally do, at least sonically and production wise. Of course, it's always going to be dope, crazy beats. It's always going to be wild samples. I played really well when I was a little kid on these courts.
Really?
Like mega nice, but that changed.
What happens?
Just getting older, not doing it every day. Knees getting bad, all
Yeah.
that, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I love the sport though. That's my second love after music, is basketball, 100%. I
okay.
also write for Slam Magazine on the side.
Okay.
So,
What-
print mag, and done interviews with players. You know, my first piece was a piece on Emmanuel Mudiay of the Denver Nuggets.
I don't know anything about sports, but I'm really bad.
Super rookie point guard from last year
Okay.
on the Denver Nuggets. Shout out to the homie Mudiay. That was my first piece. My first published piece was on him, feature piece on him and his coming up and all that. So it was great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate it when.
I hate it when fans say, yo, I just got the album a couple days ago, the new album is great, when you dropping something else. It's like it just came out. Live with it, you know. Nas used to drop
Let it
once every
marinate.
2 years, and you know we accepted that. We lived with it. You know, now you want artists to drop twice in a year. But I love the fact that the fans are that excited and that enthused. So that's not a shot to the fans at all. I think it's just the state of mind and the mind frame of the not popcorn, the microwave generation of here today, done today, gone today, what's next, you know?
That's true. All right. And I love a woman who.
I love a woman who can cook. Like I said on Music for My Friends, my third album, track 10, Women Who Can Cook. I love a woman who can cook. Absolutely.
What's your favorite dish?
My favorite food is soul food. You know, I'm 100% down south black. You know, I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, but my family is from the south.
Okay.
So I'm not, you know, West Indian or anything like that. And I got mad love for my West Indians, but I'm not West Indian or mixed or anything. I'm straight up soul brother. I want my legacy to be someone who cared and tried to show that through the music. Someone who left music a lasting impression with the music. The music that could stand forever. Music that can last forever, stand forever. 5-10 years from now, talking about albums, 20-30 years. You know, we look at albums like Illmatic, Reasonable Doubt, you know, Ready to Die, Only Built for Cuban Links. Those albums are 20+ years old. And when we listen to them and rave about them as if they came out yesterday, I think as an artist, you should strive for that, for your own music. So when I make The Salvation, when I make A Dream Deferred, when I make Music for My Friends and all the other projects in between, mixtapes and things like that, I just want it to be where 5, 10, 20 years down the line, people are like, yo, celebrating Salvation, celebrating Music for My Friends. Remember when A Dream Deferred came out? Remember this, remember that? I want that. If I get that on the legacy, I'm good. So even with my career, the mistakes or the things I may have made, whether they were due to other people or due to decisions and choices I made, you just learn from them. And it pushes you and puts you where you are. You don't let it stop you or hold you. Would I ever leave New York? I would, but I'm the last person anyone believes would ever do it. My family, my friends, everybody like, you ain't leaving New York. You Spike Lee, you're gonna be here forever. You're a New Yorker to the death like Spike Lee. You ain't leaving, you're gonna be right here. I would, depending on where, but New York is my heart, and everything about me is in New York, no matter where I go or wind up.
Right.
To the fans and the supporters, thank you for the love, the appreciation. The support, just listening, continuing to listen, continuing to tune in, continuing to turn the speakers up and really get into what I'm saying, and more so than anything, relate. Thank you for relating and letting me be relatable, you know. Just keep rocking. Love I get is so real and it's so appreciated, you know. It's not even worth shining light on the other side. Yeah, we can leave it at that. Peep Game, you know what it is. It's your man SKYZOO, Sky Zoo, live out the borough. And this is Behind the Grind. DJ Nia Boom, one time.
Right, it hit like diesel. You get a hold of you and it refuses to leave you. But then when your palm itch and you cash all in, it's me on the call in. I told you I sees you, my vision exact. So if you get to react, know the difference in that is they don't get where you at. But see, I get where you at.